All right, guys, good morning, everybody. I'm going to do the recap today. We had a really nice day. Today was the CPI number, inflation number. And the inflation number came in. As you see, we had a very massive run at 8:30. Why? Because inflation actually came down less than expected for, based on reporting. I think the inflation was 5%, when the expectation was 5.1%. So we had a little bit of a better inflation report. However, it's far from a target of the Fed. And it seems that the market reacted to that very positively, but really sold off during the day. And SPY and Qs and all the indexes went actually red. So what does it say? It says that inflation is really not that important anymore. Information reading is not important. It all comes into the earnings that is starting from Friday. So everybody knows that the Feds have increased the rate. They might add another 0.25% or they might wait. But regardless of what they're doing, it seems that they're going to pause after that. 5.2 or 5.5%, they're going to pause. So the inflation has to come down to 2%, and they're very serious on that. Even if they have to force and engineer a recession, they're going to do that. So I didn't trade anything at the open. Thor did a very nice short on the futures here. I don't have the pictures right now with me. Thor did a very nice short in the pre-market, and I think he's left for the room, so he shorted around here, and then all day we were really selling off. I personally traded Tesla very successfully, and I am still actually in there. So I still have 200 shares of Tesla position here. I shorted from all the way up from 190, and it's still going down. So let's see what exactly how that trade was. So that was a trade. So at the open I came, Tesla ran up with everything in the morning, and did some sort of a doji at the open. It came back up. I took a 1 minute opening range breakout, but I really didn't like it. So I took a 1 minute opening range breakout. I thought that we're going to break the 190, 150 to high of pre-market. It came down, it came back up. I went long, and then suddenly came down, and I realized that, oh man, I really chased it. This is doesn't look like a good trade. As soon as it came back up, I got out of it with a very small loss here. So that was a small loss here, but I'm happy that I got out, because after that it collapsed with the VWAP. And that was the moment that I realized that, okay, it's going to fail, and I went short heavy size on that, on Tesla, just below the VWAP at 190, and it continued to sold off all the way up to this level of 189, covered one, and then we had this moving averages on 1 minute chart, covered more, and then now we had, by that time was 2% up, and then we continued going down all the way up to the previous day close 187, and then it bounced back. So I was still in short there. So that was my short trade. We continued that. It came down and sold off again, never touched the VWAP, came down again. I added more heavy. Now my average became that was the first entry, that was the second entry. My average kind of came around here at around 188.50, 188.60, and pulled back a little bit. But I was still safe because my average now is here. My stop loss is at the break even, and after that you're gonna sold off really from the previous day close, two levels that we had from the yesterday low, and I continue covered that all the way up to around 1105 and 182. And then after that, because I had very limited number of the shares, I just let it go and see what's going to happen with it. And it came back up. I'm still in there. It might actually continue going higher. I wouldn't mind actually carry this one for tomorrow and see what's going to happen. So on a 5-minute chart, if you want to see that, so again, there was a first loss, and after that the opening range breakdown, very beautiful opening range breakdown with very beautiful add into that, and potentially I was looking at it as for a reversal. If on a daily chart we're getting around somewhere, for example, at 179.80, 180 would be for a potential reversal, but we may not really get that. So that was my trade in the chat room, and other traders also did that as well. This is the trade that Paris did. Paris didn't trade the opening range breakup, unlike me. So he went short and then added more when you see the rejection of 190.50, which is the high of pre-market, and then he really got very nice run down to that. And after that he left, so he's not in the chat room anymore. Same trade Thor did. You see, essentially all traders are trading very similar to that. So again, Thor, that's another trade that he did. He just shorted right around at the time that actually I went there, maybe a little bit better than me actually, the entry, and then he just continued to write down, and by the time that he sent this screenshot. And I think Brian also traded this. Brian, the way that Brian traded that, I think he sold some calls at around 191 or 992 for a Friday. So essentially you can, by shorting the calls and the options, you can synthetically go short as well. So that's what he did, and he made really good profit. Also he left chat room. I'm now doing the recap with the legend himself, Ayman. Ayman shared one really good trade that he did on Riot. Ayman is the king of these reversals. I don't know how he actually does that. He's going to explain that. Again, long at 12.16, add at 12.30, or went up all the way up to 13. So, Ayman, want to explain how you traded that?
Yeah, sure. So unlike you, unfortunately, I didn't get to catch Tesla, but I kept an eye on Riot because Riot for the past 2 days, it made a huge move based on the daily chart and based on the weekly chart. We broke really strong levels. So I expected a small continuation today. I call this kind of buy the dip strategy or a pinpoint strategy. I found a level at around 12.16 area. That was a level based on the 15-minute chart, and it was a resistance from the pre-market. And I waited after the open for the price to drop into it. Like there is a level exact, that's it. So there is a small level in the pre-market down there from 6, 7, 8 a.m. When the market opened and the price dropped into that level, I got my entry to the long side. And after that, I played a setup on the 1-minute chart, which basically was the ABCD pattern. That's where I added to my position. So on the 1-minute chart, there was an ABCD pattern at the open. After that hammer, exactly, there it is, exactly, yeah. So that is what I used to add into my position, and then I just started taking my profits as we approached pre-market highs levels. Pretty simple setup, but it was effective, and the confirmation based on the daily chart plus the level from the pre-market got me into this trade.
Yeah, it's amazing. So that was a really, really good trading day. So, I mean, everybody has a really, really nice trading day. So I'm going to stay short this little bit of Tesla, see if we can continue moving down a little bit. And, NVIDIA. I also had a trade on NVIDIA. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so I had also another trade on NVIDIA. I took a reversal on NVIDIA. So let's take a look at what we did on the NVIDIA. So NVIDIA sold off heavily and at the open. And we had this 266.50 level, which is essentially 2 days ago low. 2 days ago low at 266.50. So what I did here, I wanted to catch a reversal on that. I went long, seeing a double bottom, but it turned out to be a little bit too early. Came up and it sold off. As soon as it sold off, I got out. Came down, and then I suddenly a huge candlestick squeeze is showing up. So that's a very engulfing bullish candlestick. So I flip back. I get back into the trade again heavy at
CMI,
267, and we just continue all the way up to
now. National Cinemedia up 160.
So that was what we got. Sorry, this is a Benzinga squawk from Trading Terminal. I'm going to stop that. So yeah, so that was a move that I got from NVIDIA, and it came down at the break even, and I got a stopped out. So that was my second trade that I did on NVIDIA live in the chat room. That was very nice. So that was one trade. I got one stopped out here, and then I made the profit back on this one. So that was a very, very nice trading day for my NVIDIA. And I sold some puts on Apple that unfortunately I got stopped out on them. But overall, it was a very, very nice trading day. And as you know, I actually shorted the SPY at 470 for October. So I think it's going to go lower. So that's 1,500 shares on that short by options. Well, thank you so much, guys. Yesterday we had a really nice presentation by Thor on reading the market and how the market makers are trading. So looking forward to the recording. And tonight we have the psychology presentations. Do you know who is that? Actually, we can do that. The psychology presentation is Crede. She's tonight at 5 p.m. on the Eastern time. So you're looking forward to having Crede. So yeah, so we have Crede tonight. How to neutralize pressure while trading at 5 p.m. Tonight. She's going to have the presentation. Looking forward to that. And yeah, so earnings season also starts. Tradingterminal.com. Look into that. Earnings season starts, and we're looking forward to seeing into having the banks start from Wells Fargo and JP Morgan. The banks start on Friday and essentially kicking off the earnings season that we're expecting. Looking forward to that earnings season as well, guys. Anything from you, Ayman?
No, that's it. Amazing day, amazing volatility in the market we're having lately. So it's one of the best times to trade, especially on earnings seasons. Probably we'll keep having some decent opportunities in the future. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
And thank you everyone for watching the recap.
Yeah, thank you. And another thing that I was going to mention, that is Peak Capital. We started Peak Capital. We start in 1 month. So looking forward to have 30 traders trading with us. We already have 4 or 5 traders signing up already, and looking forward to really have a good cohort of, I think this one is the 8th boot camp that we are running. Looking forward to having you guys.